Hello everyone, welcome to the Purple Penny weekly coin video. My name's Mark. I run the Purple Penny. We're a coin shop north of Adelaide in South Australia. My wife Catherine and I have been here in this shop for just over 3 years now, and we've been running these videos for just coming up to 2 years now. Last week was kind of quiet in the shop. It was much quieter than it usually is. There's lots of people in and out, but not a lot of buying and not a lot of selling. So Catherine and I have taken the chance to get a lot of jobs done and get quite a bit of new stock listed out the front and up on the website, and get some odd jobs done. So that's been it's been pretty good actually. And this week we're all set for a big photography session with a bunch of new coins back from PCGS and banknotes back from PCGS. So if you're into that sort of stuff, do keep an eye on our website in the next few weeks. They'll all be popping up from time to time. Now, I do like to usually show something that we've bought during the week, and I thought I'd just show you this, which is not a coin and it's not a banknote, but it is something that's reasonably interesting that we bought a couple of weeks ago. It's a ledger there, and the ledger dates from 1915. It's a British ledger, and what it is a logbook that was kept by the third engineer of a boat called the Anglo-Egyptian, and the Anglo-Egyptian was a commercial freighter that was requisitioned by the Australian government in World War One, and it was one of the troop ships that carried the first batch of troops from Australia to Egypt, and was actually offshore of Gallipoli on Anzac Day 1915. And if you look inside this is all handwritten notes by this gentleman who witnessed some pretty momentous events in Australian history. And if we just jump to April 25th, 1915, we can just read out what he wrote there. Of course, he wouldn't have known that this had such a big effect on Australian history, but it just says here, on Sunday the 25th of April, left Lemnos for Gubba Tepe, arrived same day, heavy shelling, witnessed landing of troops off Anzac. So yeah, so it's an interesting diary, I guess, or log from 1915 and 1916 with a gentleman who was actually at the Anzac Day landing. So that was quite an interesting thing that came in a couple of weeks ago. We'll just say a few hellos to people that are here. Hello Paul, Peter, Tanya, Rob, John, Brendan, another Paul, Edward, Jason, Ash, Alyssa, Dillis, Warren. Yeah, it was good to have you in here last week, Warren, as well. And hello Damien, how are you going? Right, so we'll just jump into a new slide here. So I did notice in the last 2 days that I've seen a bunch of B-rolls pop up on Facebook, and they're security rolls, several blocks of them. So I'm just wondering what effect that will have on the secondary market of the RAM B rolls. Usually it's not a great effect, so I just jumped online this morning and just to check what B RAM rolls are selling for, and they're still getting $180 to $210 on eBay. So we'll revisit that in a couple of weeks and see where they're at now that security rolls are out and about. Mint marks on cards are still getting sort of $22 to $35. So those prices have been fairly stable for the last month or so. They haven't changed much. So I think they probably won't go up anymore, I don't think. In the coin news this week that I usually do hunt around to see what's going on in the coin and banknote world, the only really interesting thing that I came up with was another metal detecting find in the UK. And it was interesting for a couple of reasons. Firstly is that it was 3 years ago, and the gentleman who found the coins is still in the process of they're getting valued and so on and so forth, so it's quite a long process. The second unusual thing was that there was 748 coins, so he detected these in a field in Suffolk. He initially found a couple of Roman brooches, and then over the next hour or two found sort of several dozen coins, contacted the local archaeological society, and then over the next 3 months they found nearly 750 silver and gold coins. So that's quite unusual, the fact that there were gold coins. The other thing that was particularly unusual was the age of the coins. They all sort of dated from, most of them dated from pre-Roman Britain time, so prior to the invasion of Britain. And there weren't just Roman coins in there, there was also some Gallic coins, so this is prior to the Roman invasion. So what do they call the high... Someone here will tell me, but interesting, the completely different nature of coins found in this find. And you know, this gentleman's in for a big payday. He'll get to split the proceeds of the sale of these coins with the landowner, and no doubt he's wanting that sale to happen as soon as possible. Funnily enough, the gentleman is a big Indiana Jones fan, always has been his entire life, and it was always his dream to make a big find. And there were some quite cute photos of him in his Indiana Jones outfit for the newspaper. So this is sort of a sample of the coins that were found. They're quite different to the usual 3rd and 4th century coins that are found in England. Yes, Peter, that's right. 43 AD was the date of the Roman invasion. So there were some Roman coins in there that were from about 39 or 40 AD. No, later than that, sorry, 45 to 46 AD, and BC, and some of the pre-Roman British coins were BC as well, so it was quite an unusual find, and it'd be interesting to see when they come on the market. Right, so the last thing I really wanted to cover today was a couple of things about the June RAM release. Firstly, the Mint mistyped the metal for the Commonwealth Games 50-cent piece. So if we just pop that slide up here, it was previously listed as an aluminium bronze gold plated Unk coin. That's the top one there. It is actually a copper nickel gold plated coin, not aluminium bronze at all. And the other thing of interest is the third item on the list there, the 2022 $1 coloured aluminium bronze coin, the Commonwealth Games coin. Now that we've seen the dealer information sheets, we know that the wholesale allocation for those is very small, and the Mint, you know, just as way of explanation, the Mint doesn't make all of the product available to its wholesale dealer network, and we are of course Mint wholesale dealers. Where they sell them, you know, your guess is as good as mine, but obviously they sell them through their own channels, and if they have commercial arrangements with other organisations, perhaps the Commonwealth Games Committee, then they get an allocation as well. So in the case of this dollar coin, for some reason, the dealer allocation is extremely low. So if you really want one of those, you're going to have to get your skates on release day to get one, because I suspect they're going to be quite hard to find through the dealer network. You might have to jump onto the Mint's website and try and snaffle one there if you are a dollar coin collector. What does that mean? You know, maybe that's the one to look out for if you're looking for something that might go up in value. That's just a wild guess on my behalf, but you never know. Right, Peter is just saying here that there was a lot of trade between Rome and Gaul and Britain before the invasion, so that could explain these coins that were found in the field in Suffolk. Thanks for that, Peter. Right, topic of the week is kind of related to the Coin Expo that's coming up here in the first weekend in October. The times for that have been finalised. You can see there that we're open from 10 to 5 on Sunday the 1st, Saturday the 1st, Sunday the 2nd of October, and then 10 to 4 on Monday. It's at the Torrens Parade Grounds here in Adelaide. Free entry, free car parking. It looks like we're probably going to have some sort of foil overprinted PNC. I don't think the mint is going to come. I think that's fairly certain. The mint sort of through back channels has said that they're not really wanting to come to many coin shows anymore because of the effect that they have on those coin shows. Anyway, for the last 2 years, there's been hardly any coin shows, but there has been a real surge in the number of people who are interested in coins. So as coin shows and fairs and things like that happen over the next 6 to 12 months, it could be a good opportunity for a new coin collector to go to a coin show for the first time. And I just thought it was worth sharing some of Catherine and my experiences as we've gone to coin shows over the years, because we've been to a lot and we've been doing it for a long time, and we have made some mistakes at coin shows, and it's things that we try not to do anymore, and we just thought we'd pass on some of those tips to those people out there who haven't been to a coin show before, or even those that have been to a coin show before and are looking to do it a bit better. So we'll just jump on to that. Now, there are some things you need to do before you go to the coin show. One is, of course, you've got to actually find out where the coin show is and when it is and all that sort of stuff, and make all the arrangements to get there. The first thing is to set a budget. Don't go in there and spend every cent that you've got. It's always important to go in there with an idea in mind about what you've got to spend. Be aware that most dealers don't have FPOS facilities, so you will often need cash, and just make sure you don't spend that much. Take the tools that you need. Now, what are they? I've got some props over here. Take some coin holders. There's no guarantee that the coin holder that the coin comes in is one that you want to keep it in, or you might actually ask the dealer to take it out of a coin holder and pop it in something else. If you are going to be looking at coins closely, get yourself one of these, which is a loop. This is an Eiseneschenbach one, which is a bit of a fancy one. Catherine's got a couple of loops that we got from Dick Smith when they used to trade. You can pick up those sorts of things off of somewhere like Amazon. Take your phone. I mean, everyone takes their phone anyway, but take your phone, because internet can be super useful if you are trying to find out bits of information. I will just say, though, that if you are going to stand there and Google coins, it is kind of rude to stand at a dealer's table and do it at the dealer's table. And that we've always thought that. This is before we're dealing ourselves, but now that we actually have tables at shows ourselves, there's nothing more irritating than someone standing there taking up space and Googling everything on their phone. Pop your head onto the table, have a look at what you're interested in, and take a step back and Google away to your heart's content, but don't stand there at the table and do it. If you've got one of these, I've just dropped one of my props. If you've got one of these, it's well worth taking one of these, a catalogue. Why? It gives you a good idea of mintages, gives you a good idea of, perhaps relative values and things like that. It can be a really useful thing to have. Don't be ashamed to stand there and just take a step back from a table and have a look at a catalogue. No one knows everything, and anyone who thinks they do is kidding themselves. Now, I've just dropped my prop there. The last thing to take is a pen and paper. Now, why? To note down how much you spend on things. Often the price on holders isn't what you end up paying. Often things aren't priced. And if you do spend several hours at the show, you will lose track of what you spend on things, especially if you make many purchases. Thanks, Peter, for suggesting to get a loop with a light. That is a great tip. Often lighting in coin shows is terrible, so it's good to have a loop that you're used to using with a light that you're used to. See, this one's got a light with a light that you're used to as well. That's a great tip. Thank you for that, Peter. Know your stuff. So if there are things that you're interested in buying, then do your research and work out what they sell for. Now, why is that? It's because I sort of can't emphasize enough how many times Catherine and I have seen something at a show or an antique show or we went to a big swap meet over the weekend, and you see something, you go, wow, that's cool, and you buy it, and then you get it home and you go, I really shouldn't have paid that much on it. Often it's pretty difficult to find bargains at a lot of shows unless you really do know your market that you're interested in. So I guess know your stuff, and when you're at the show, don't get sort of carried away by whims that catch your fancy. Write a list of what you want. That's what the phone is really useful for, to keep a list of what you want and what you've got, so that you go in there and don't lose track or forget what it is that you're looking for. Prepare yourself. What does that mean? It means, you sound like your mother here, it just means making sure that you have eaten properly and drunk properly and taken care of other functions correctly before you go into the show. There's nothing worse than waiting in line for an hour to go into a show, and you finally get to the front of the line and you want to go and look at things, and you need to go to the bathroom or you need to go and get something to eat. You are wasting your time, so look after yourself and make sure that you're ready for some good coin hunting. The last two here are kind of related. If you haven't been to a coin show before, then there's going to be a lot of different dealers there, and it is well worth talking to people on Facebook groups or on bulletin boards or wherever, and asking them about what dealers are likely to have the type of stuff that you're interested in and what dealers are easy to deal with. For example, at the coin show here in Adelaide in October, when we're setting up on Saturday morning, I will do the rounds of all the coin dealers who have come from interstate. There's no point in me spending a lot of time looking at Jerry from At the Toss of a Coin stuff or Richard Welling stuff, who's from Ye Old Coin Company, because I see their stock all the time. So I will be going to interstate dealers who I know have the sorts of things that I'm interested in. You should do the same thing. If you're interested in mint product, then when you come to the Adelaide Coin Show, then probably don't go and look at Richard Welling stuff, because he has ancient coins. But if you're interested in ancient coins, go and look at Richard Welling stuff. And do you know who has what you want? If you don't, ask. Okay, you're always welcome to ask us as well. We'll help you out where we can. And then the last one here is to prioritise your visits. What does that mean? It means that the first table by the door might not be the one that you are most interested in. You might want to look at Richard's Ancients coins and get over to his table straight away before he gets too busy. So do think about the order in which you're going to look at things in. Let's have a look at what you do when you're in the show. And this, I guess, comes from someone here who has been on both sides of the table, both sides of the dealing table, selling and buying. Do you do a lap when you first go in? Do you do a lap of the dealers that you're interested in and do a quick scan of their table to make sure there's nothing of interest there for you? Often the early bird does catch the worm. Catherine and I always tell a story of the Brisbane Ander show that we went to years ago, and we did our lap, saw something on a table that we wanted, thought, right, we'll get that on the way back, but that's the wrong thing to do, because of course when we came back it was gone. So do that lap and be ready to buy something that you know is good value and what you want. And this item, we knew the price was good, and that there wouldn't be another one in the show, and there wasn't, and someone else bought it first. So after you've done your lap, hit your priorities, and that's the dealers that you're interested in, so go to their tables first. When you're standing at the table, be polite, and that's important. Be polite to the dealer and be polite to others, and that's especially so when they are busy, because when a show first opens it is very busy, and sometimes the dealers don't have time to answer all of your questions or to stand there and have a conversation with you. Especially in the first hour or two. If you want to have a conversation with a dealer, then by all means do so, but you might be better off waiting until things are more quiet. We all like to swap stories with each other and tell everyone about the bargains we've bought and things like that, but if there's 30 people standing at our table all wanting help, that's not the time that a dealer wants to hear it. And if you are there looking at material, be courteous to the other people that are looking. Don't sort of put the things you've looked at on top of what they're looking at. Be fair with the space and be fair with the lights and things like that. Don't take up all the dealer's time. We do have other people that we're trying to talk to. The table etiquette there is it's a fact of life that at coin shows there is opportunities to for people that are there for bad reasons to pinch things. So dealers are always on the lookout for people like that. So if you are looking at things at a dealer's table, do ask if you can look in a folder. Keep your hands above the table. Don't be dropping your hands below the table. Certainly don't drop your hands below the table if you've got items in your hand. Keep your loop and your phone and everything on top of the table where everything is just sort of above board, and you know the dealer will be much happier for you to spend some time looking through their stock. And the last one there is don't fall in love with something. You know, you've got to know what you're looking at is good value and that it's what you want. Don't be bitten by the latest bug and buy something that you'll regret when you get home. I have a little box of regrets at home, that things that I really shouldn't have bought, and despite my best efforts from time to time I still fall into old habits, so I would advise you to sort of not get caught up in the moment at a coin show and be discerning about what you buy. Right, that's it for today. I hope everyone found that useful. We might replay this one come middle of September when the coin show is closer here in Adelaide, because I'm planning on meeting all of you. And incidentally, we are right by the door at the Adelaide Coin Expo, so make sure you do say hello. We'll just have a look to see if there's any comments here that I need to respond to. Sorry, I just clicked the wrong button on my mouse. Thanks, Ian, for your kind words there about the purple penny. Ian says the purple penny is awesome. Thanks, Ian. Hello, Gwen. Hello, Mark. And Peter says, how can you not fall in love with some of the dealers? Yeah, I'll keep my comments about that one to myself. Damien says, is there any food, drinks or snacks available? A pie truck out the front. So the Philatelic Society, who is the stamp collecting society here in Adelaide, is a supporting society of the Numismatic Society of South Australia, and they usually provide some people who run a little canteen inside the drill hall at that coin expo, and you can buy tea and coffee and soft drinks and sandwiches and cakes and things like that, so there is something to eat. It is important to fuel up in the middle of the day if you're going to spend the whole day at the coin show. The prices are quite reasonable, so that's one option. And of course the drill hall is only just down the hill from Rundle Mall, so if you want to sort of have a bit of a longer lunch, you can just walk up the hill to Rundle Mall and go into the Maya food court and feed yourself up there. Thanks for the question there, Damien. Right, that's it. Talking about feeding myself up, it's lunchtime. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, we're looking for topics for these videos, so please do reach out to us if you've got something you'd like us to talk about. And thanks for watching. Happy collecting. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.